Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Don't mind subscribe. Well, you heard me tell you a couple of videos ago or so, somewhere along there, that I didn't get my normal deposit in the bank. I think it was Monday. Actually, that would be 5 days ago. And as I was telling you, I emailed Manila, Social Security in Manila, their branch, and got almost an immediate response. And they informed me I could send my form, I think it's 7162, I think. We as foreigners call them, "Are you dead?" But anyway, they informed me I could send it directly to them. I said, great. I figured it'd take 3 to 5 days to get the form there with our local couriers. In this case, I will have to brag on one. That was Monday. Tuesday, I happen to have an extra form on hand here at home. So on Tuesday, Grace and I went to San Carlos. We had needed to go anyway for groceries and so forth. And we took it to LBC. And I think Grace paid 231 pesos or something like that. It wasn't a great deal of money, but about $4. And Grace asked him how long it would take to get there, and he said 3 to 4 days. So, but he did write urgent on it. I figured that'd be the norm. Well, holy mackerel. Wednesday, I was checking my email and my tracking number for LBC, see if it has moved anywhere. It was already in Manila. Holy mackerel. And it was out for delivery. Wow. Here in the Philippines, that's shocking. And it got delivered, and later that day, I got an email from the embassy, Social Security in Manila, saying they received my letter and would be processing it and expect to get my deposit within 7 to 10 days. I said, fine. So Grace and I didn't give it a second thought. We thought it'd be next week. Well, yesterday, Thursday, we decided to take the little van and have the new parts that I've had on hand now for a while. The CV joints and so forth, and the brakes. Decided to do that project yesterday. In the meantime, while I was there at the repair shop, Grace decided that she's going to have a meeting with her friends and catch the bus and go to San Carlos and go to the post office, because we got a notification from the post office to pick up some letters. Well, after she done her little thing and went to San Carlos, and they ended up going to Calatrava to the post office. On the way back, she stopped in San Carlos and visit with a friend there. And she stopped by the bank because we needed some extra funds. And she checked her account. Wow. The money was there. It was there. Isn't that amazing? 4 days total. From the time we found out we didn't have a deposit till we had a deposit. Actually, that would work out, 3 days. I'm shocked. So yesterday was a very productive day. Now, you heard me mention I was at the repair shop getting things done to our little van. I know you've heard me talk about it before. I replaced the CV joints this will be the third time, but this time it's different. Before, due to the fact I couldn't get new parts, and so I had to replace with what they call surplus parts, which they try to make you think it's better than new. You never get me to believe that. I'm sorry. But anyway, because the surplus parts, and most odds are, it probably got more mileage or kilometers on it than what you already have. So they're basically worn out to begin with, especially when it comes to CV joints and things of that nature. So we got that installed. The one on the passenger side, the axle is actually a little, about double the size of the one on the driver's side, as far as length goes. For some reason, it is a monster to install. It took several hours to get that one back. The first one on the other side, driver's side, in just a few minutes. But we got them installed, got the new ones in place. And in the meantime, we replaced the brakes, front brakes, and which I'm happy, and they lubricate the pins that the caliper slides on. They have learned that every time they do work on my vehicle, when they have to take the calipers off, to lubricate those pins, because I just don't like it when they rattle. Now, I had bought new rear brake shoes, and they moved from the front. They got all that completed to the rear. Now, I've noticed over time that my brakes just don't hold back what it should. And when they pulled the rear shoes off, they discovered that the rear cylinders were actually stuck. They wasn't functioning, period. They wasn't doing their job. Well, guess what? I happen to have on hand from a previous incident with those rear cylinders. When I first got the vehicle, I had acquired 2 new brake cylinders, and just never did install them because the man was driving fine. I figured I'd wait till I had to replace the rear shoes again. But the brakes themselves wasn't worn that bad. But I went ahead and put new shoes on it anyway, and replaced those 2 cylinders. Oh, what a difference those brakes are. Man, that is something. And I've got a full pedal, which I had noticed over time that my pedal had dropped had to push it about 30% before I rarely had any brakes. So that explains why my front disc had worn quicker than I thought was normal. Because due to the fact the rear brakes wouldn't do anything. So I'm back to normal now. I got good brakes. I don't have any rattling noise in the front anymore, the popping noise. I'm happy with that. And now here goes the side catch. Now you guys out there want to throw and bash these surplus vehicles. Well, I can understand that. You know, because a lot of us out there that buy these vehicles, unfortunately, are not mechanically inclined. So they consider it a problem. I can understand that. And that's why you think badly of these vehicles. You think, well, they've been pieced together, which, in theory, they are. They're chopped up and sent and a shipping container and so forth. But if you have any knowledge of being mechanically inclined, you can turn these into a good vehicle. It's just a matter of time, being patient. And the good part about this, I'm not making any payments. I'm not paying a big insurance. If you have a new vehicle or even something that's just a few years old, you know you want to insure it to protect it. And you want that full coverage. And if you happen to have one, and actually buy, say, a used vehicle that's, say, it's out of warranty, just enough time to be out of warranty. Parts availability. The odds are, if you're buying that type of vehicle, dealer parts only. Very expensive. You might get lucky buying maintenance things like brake shoes and brakes, stuff like that. But I promise you, it's going to cost you more. You know, little things that you don't consider is oil changes, tune-ups, things of that category. In my case, much less money. I only have 3 plugs to replace. That don't sound like a lot of money, does it? My personal experience with plugs, of course, I can buy them cheaper if I order them. But if you buy them locally, I was shocked. 1 plug, $20. Holy mackerel. When I can buy them roughly a couple bucks a piece. Even the best plugs, about $5 a piece. Oil changes. 3 quarts or 3 liters. And I use fully synthetic. And I order it online. Oil filters. I buy a premium oil filter. And I'm one of those people that like to change oil about every 3,000. Thereabouts. I stay within that range. Got a high mileage vehicle. Fortunately, my little vehicle, I've not had to add oil, put in oil changes. Now, any gasoline engine will have some consumption of oil. And it'll only be noticeable if you stretch those miles out. Now, if you ever, like me, do it like every 3,000 kilometers or 3,000 miles, whichever you work with. If it's a good engine, you'll not notice a drop in oil. And that's a good thing. My little engine, no problem. Transmission, I change every 30,000 kilometers. Now, when I first got the vehicle, I did 2 immediate changes on the transmission fluid. Now, you'll have people out there saying, you never should do that. Well, that don't make sense to me. Those clutches, they wear, and they have debris, and it changes the color of the fluid, which means you got material in there that's more abrasive. It can cause you problems, especially with the newer transmissions. They got solenoids in them, and they're very sensitive to any impurities. I've not had no transmission problems. Now, if you got a manual transmission, it's not as prevalent, but still, me personally, I would change. It's probably not necessary on the manual, but I still would do it. But anyway, folks, yesterday was a very productive day. And later today, I'm going to try to do some video of our chicken project. we should be putting some fencing up, hopefully, today. Depending on the weather, to be honest with you. If it rains or extreme heat, we'll probably just do very little. But anyway, I really appreciate it, each and every one of y'all, for taking time out and watching what happens in our daily lives here in the Philippines. And hopefully, some of it might be educational. Who knows? Depends what you take out of the content. But anyway, if you don't mind, if you watch this far, you know what to do. Subscribe. And thanks again.